In 1908, the richest man in America sat across from a young journalist and made him an offer that sounded insane. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who controlled more wealth than some countries, told Napoleon Hill that he believed the principles behind every great fortune could be identified, studied, and taught to anyone. And he wanted Hill to prove it, not by reading about success, by going directly to the most successful people alive, interviewing them one by one, and extracting the exact principles they used to build everything. The assignment would take 20 years. Carnegie would provide introductions but no money. Hill would have to fund the entire project himself. Hill said yes within seconds. That decision, and the 2 decades of research that followed, became Think and Grow Rich. A book written during the Great Depression, read by over 100 million people since, and still one of the most debated books on wealth ever published. Not because its ideas are complicated, because its central claim makes most intelligent people uncomfortable. The argument at the center of this book is not that hard work creates wealth. It's not that intelligence creates wealth. It's that a specific way of thinking, applied consistently over time, is the primary driver behind every fortune ever built. That sounds like motivational nonsense until you realize the list of people who confirmed it directly. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Theodore Roosevelt, Alexander Graham Bell, more than 500 of the most accomplished people of their era, all pointing to the same set of principles. This is not a book of opinions. It's a book of patterns. This book is for you if you've been working hard for years and still feel like something fundamental is missing from your approach. This book is for you if you suspect that what separates the people who build real wealth from the people who don't isn't talent or luck, but something deeper that nobody talks about directly. And this book is for you if you've ever set a goal that mattered to you and quietly let it die without understanding why. You've said you wanted something before, a better career, more money, a business of your own, a different life. But did you want it, or did you wish for it? There's a sharp line between these two things. A wish is passive. It floats around in your head. It sounds nice when you talk about it. It disappears the moment something difficult gets in the way. Most New Year's resolutions are wishes. Most, I should really start, sentences are wishes. They have no teeth. A burning desire is different. It's the person who quits a stable job because they can't stand one more year of building someone else's dream. It's the person who wakes up at 5. Not because a productivity book told them to, but because the thing they're building won't let them sleep. The difference isn't motivation. It's desperation. The first principle is clear. Every achievement begins with a desire so intense that it becomes an obsession, not a preference, not a nice to have, an obsession. The kind that rewires your daily behavior without anyone needing to hold you accountable. Be honest with yourself right now. The thing you say you want most, how many days this week did you actually work on it? If the answer is 0, it's not a desire yet. It's still a wish. Which leads to the question almost nobody answers clearly. What exactly do you want? Not more money. Not a better life. Not freedom. Those are feelings, not targets. The starting point of all achievement is a definite purpose. A specific, measurable, time-bound outcome that you can describe in one sentence without hesitation. Most people can't do this. Ask someone what they want from the next 5 years, and you get a vague cloud of hopes. Ask them what they'd do with $1 million, and they stumble. Not because they lack ambition, because they've never forced themselves to get specific. This isn't a minor gap. It's the gap. A mind without a definite target drifts. It responds to whatever is loudest, most urgent, most convenient. It works hard but in scattered directions. A mind with a definite target filters automatically. Opportunities either align or they don't. Decisions become simpler. Energy consolidates instead of scattering. Write it down. One sentence. What do you want specifically and by when? If you can't answer that right now, nothing else in this book can help you yet. Purpose precedes everything. The third idea will surprise you, because it's not about what you do. It's about how fast you decide. The research behind this book covered over 500 wealthy individuals, and it revealed a striking pattern. People who accumulated great wealth made decisions quickly and changed them slowly. People who failed to build wealth made decisions slowly and changed them constantly. Look at your own life. How long did it take you to decide on your last major move? The job, the project, the investment, the relationship. Did you deliberate for months, gathering opinions, weighing every angle, waiting for the perfect moment? That's the pattern of failure. Not because careful thinking is bad, but because chronic indecision is a habit that disguises itself as wisdom. You tell yourself you're being thorough. You tell yourself you need more information. What's actually happening is you're afraid to commit. The people Hill interviewed didn't have more information than everyone else. They had more nerve, they decided. Then they adjusted as they went. The direction came first. The perfection came later. What decision have you been postponing? Not because you need more data, but because committing to one path means closing the others. The fourth idea is one that every self-made person Hill interviewed confirmed independently. No one builds wealth alone. Hill calls it the mastermind principle. The idea that when two or more minds work together in a spirit of harmony toward a definite purpose, something happens that exceeds what either mind could produce alone. Not just collaboration, a kind of amplified intelligence. Carnegie himself attributed his entire fortune not to his own genius, but to his ability to surround himself with people who were smarter than he was in specific domains. He didn't try to know everything. He built a circle that collectively knew everything. Now look at your own circle, the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you towards your definite purpose, or are they a comfortable place to stay exactly where you are? Are they building things, or are they just talking about building things? Be specific. When you sit down with your closest friends this weekend, what do you talk about? If the conversation is mostly complaints about work, gossip, and plans that never happen, that's not a mastermind. That's a support group for staying stuck. This isn't cruel, it's precise. The people around you set the ceiling for what feels normal. If nobody in your circle has started a business, starting one feels crazy. If nobody in your circle invests, investing feels risky. If nobody is building, building feels lonely. But put yourself around 3 people who are already doing the thing you want to do, and suddenly it feels like the obvious next step. This isn't about cutting people out of your life. It's about being intentional about who you let in. The wrong circle can keep you comfortable for decades. The right one can compress 10 years of growth into 2. You don't need more mentors. You need the right 3 people who are playing at the level you're trying to reach. The 5th idea is the one that separates the people who read this book and nod from the people who read it and change. Hill calls it persistence, and he's honest about what it actually looks like. It doesn't look heroic. It doesn't look dramatic. Most of the time it looks like showing up on a Tuesday when nothing is working, when nobody is watching, when every signal around you says to quit. It looks boring, repetitive, unrewarding for long stretches. The single most common reason for failure among the 500 people studied was not lack of talent, not lack of capital, not lack of ideas, the inability to keep going when the results haven't arrived yet. You've been here. You started the project. The first month was exciting. The second month was harder. By the third month the excitement was gone, the results hadn't come, and something newer and shinier appeared in the corner of your eye. So you pivoted, or paused, or quietly stopped without ever admitting you quit. This connects to something deeper. Persistence isn't a personality trait. It's a byproduct of the first 2 ideas in this book. If your desire is truly burning, you don't need to be told to persist. If your purpose is truly definite, quitting feels like losing yourself, not just losing a project. The people who can't persist usually don't have a persistence problem. They have a desire problem, or a clarity problem. Fix those, and persistence stops being something you force. It becomes something you can't. Stop. Here is the big truth that sits underneath everything in this book. Wealth is not an accident. It is not luck. It is not reserved for people with advantages you don't have. It is the result of a specific way of thinking, applied with burning desire, definite purpose, fast decisions, the right minds around you, and the refusal to stop before the result arrives. Hill didn't guess at this. He spent 20 years confirming it across 500 lives. The principles weren't different from person to person. They were the same. Here is the honest warning. you now understand the principles behind more accumulated wealth than most people will encounter in a lifetime. Desire, purpose, decision, mastermind, persistence. And the most likely thing you'll do with this knowledge is nothing. Not because you disagree, because it's easier to keep wishing than to start wanting. Do not stay comfortable. Step 1. Write your definite purpose in one sentence. What do you want, and by when? Tape it somewhere you see every morning before your phone. Step 2. Audit your circle. Identify the one person in your life who is building at the level you want to reach. Start a conversation with them this week, not small talk. A real conversation about what they're working on and what you're working on. Step 3. Identify the one decision you've been avoiding, the one you already know the answer to. Make it before this week ends. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is not a book about money. It is a book about what happens when a human mind locks onto a single purpose with total conviction and refuses to let go until the world bends. And the question it leaves you with is not whether these principles work. The question is, do you want what you say you want badly enough to actually apply them? Drop a comment below and tell me which principle hit you hardest. Was it the desire versus wish distinction, the definite purpose, the speed of decision, or the mastermind? I read every single one, and if you're not subscribed, do that now, because next week we go even deeper. I will see you there.